In the 1990s, the Pentagon told America's 51 defense giants to merge or vanish. Today, just 5 companies supply the entire U.S. arsenal, with only 33 weapon systems. Meanwhile, Europe, split across 27 nations, maintains 179 different systems and pays up to 5 times as much for the same artillery shells. How did the two sides spend billions so differently? And what is the real price of fragmentation? The story begins with a single ultimatum. In July 1993, a group of America's top defense executives gathered at the Pentagon for a dinner that would reshape their industry. Defense Secretary William Perry delivered a blunt message. The Cold War was over, budgets were shrinking, and there simply was not enough work to keep all 51 major contractors alive. Mergers were not just allowed, they were expected. The warning was clear: consolidate or disappear from the defense business entirely. Within a few years, this signal triggered a wave of mergers and acquisitions that transformed the entire sector. Lockheed joined with Martin Marietta in 1995 in a deal worth $10 billion, closing factories and eliminating millions of square feet of production space. Boeing absorbed McDonnell Douglas in 1997, cementing its place as an aerospace giant. Northrop merged with Grumman. Raytheon expanded by acquiring Hughes and other assets. General Dynamics survived by streamlining operations and focusing on core areas like tanks and submarines. By the early 2000s, the landscape had narrowed to just 5 dominant players: Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, RTX, formerly Raytheon Technologies, and General Dynamics. These 5 companies now account for roughly 1/3 of all Pentagon contract spending, a share that once belonged to dozens of firms. Tens of thousands of suppliers exited the market over the following decades as the industry concentrated around these giants. The Pentagon's approach was deliberate: one buyer, fewer suppliers, and the promise of scale. The result was a defense sector designed for efficiency, with long production runs and standardized equipment. This industrial design would shape how America built and supplied its military for the next generation. The Department of Defense stands as the United States' single, central customer for military hardware. Every major order, whether for tanks, ships, or aircraft, runs through the Pentagon. This structure has shaped the American arsenal into a tightly controlled set of standardized platforms. According to the Swedish Defense Research Agency, the United States operates just 33 major weapon system types across its armed forces. For main battle tanks, the entire United States military relies on a single family, the M1 Abrams. Surface combatants are pared down to just 2 classes, streamlining naval operations and maintenance. In the air, 5 core fighter types cover every tactical mission. Those are the F-15, the F-16, the F-A-18, the F-22, and the F-35. Infantry fighting vehicles are limited to 3 main models. Self-propelled artillery is built around one principal system. This level of standardization is possible because the Pentagon acts as a unified buyer. It can place large orders for a single design, pushing production runs into the thousands. The result is a supply chain built for scale, with common training, shared spare parts, and simplified logistics across the services. The United States model eliminates the need to juggle dozens of variants or to coordinate between competing national preferences. Instead, every branch draws from the same pool of equipment, maintained and upgraded according to a single set of requirements. With just 33 major systems, the American defense sector has achieved a degree of operational simplicity that few other countries can match. The numbers speak for themselves. One buyer, one set of standards, and a streamlined arsenal that supports global operations with remarkable efficiency. Across Europe, the defense landscape is defined by complexity and sheer variety. According to the Swedish Defense Research Agency, European countries maintain a total of 179 major weapon systems. Each category reflects this diversity: 12 different main battle tank types in service, 25 types of frigates and destroyers, and as many as 20 distinct fighter aircraft. Infantry fighting vehicles number 16 separate models, while self-propelled howitzers reach 12 distinct systems. Even attack helicopters and conventional submarines show similar patterns, with 4 and 10 types respectively. This diversity is not accidental. Instead of a single central buyer, Europe's defense procurement is split among 27 national governments. Each country acts as its own customer, ordering equipment tailored to its own requirements and industrial priorities. The result is a patchwork of small production runs, each supporting national jobs and technology, but multiplying the number of systems that must be designed, built, and maintained. Collaboration across borders is rare. Only 18% of EU defense equipment spending is conducted through joint procurement, according to the European Parliament. The remaining 82% is managed separately by national ministries, reinforcing the proliferation of unique designs. For every mission type, Europe supports multiple parallel projects, each with its own supply chain, training programs, and maintenance needs. The scale of this fragmentation sets the stage for the challenges that follow. A single artillery shell can reveal the cost of fragmentation. Russian factories produce 152mm shells for about $1,000 each, thanks to enormous production runs and a unified national order book. In contrast, European defense firms deliver comparable 155mm shells at 4 to 5 times that price, often $4,000 to $5,000 per round. The difference is not just materials or labor, it is the economics of small batches, separate national contracts, and duplicated overhead. Every country wants its own version, built to its own specifications, in its own plant. The result is a supply chain where fixed costs are spread thin, and every new contract restarts the learning curve. Tanks tell a similar story. When Poland sought new main battle tanks, European offers for small national orders clustered around 30 million to 35 million euros per unit, with training, spares, and support bundled in. Meanwhile, a large-scale deal with South Korea delivered tanks at roughly 10 million to 15 million euros each as part of a 1,000-unit package. The gap, 2 to 3 times the price for similar capability, reflects the penalty for fragmentation. European Parliament economists have mapped the scale of this inefficiency. Their studies estimate that Europe's defense sector loses between 24.5 billion euros and 75.5 billion euros every year to duplicated research, redundant production lines, and the absence of economies of scale. These are not hypothetical savings. They are real recurring costs measured against the current structure. For every euro spent, a significant share is lost to inefficiency, not to actual combat power. Poland's Ministry of National Defense signed contracts worth over 30 billion euros with South Korea and more than 10 billion euros with the United States between 2022 and 2024, opting for 1,000 K2 tanks, 672 K9 howitzers, and 48 Fa-50 jets from Korean suppliers. The first Korean tanks arrived in Poland just 5 months after the deal, while European alternatives offered delivery timelines of 5 years or more. Korean production lines supported output of around 100 tanks per year, compared to European factories averaging about 50 per year, often split across multiple small orders. The effective package price for the Korean tanks landed near 10 to 15 million euros per unit, including training and support, while comparable European offers hovered in the 30 to 35 million euros range for similar packages. For Poland, the decision was driven by speed and price, together with scale, factors European suppliers simply could not match. The Pentagon's consolidation strategy delivered scale, but it also created new vulnerabilities. According to a 2022 Department of Defense report, over 90% of all U.S. missile production now comes from just 3 suppliers. This level of concentration means a single disruption, whether a cyber attack, a supply chain failure, or an industrial accident, could halt the flow of critical weapons. Defense analysts warn that relying on so few sources for essential systems introduces serious risk. While consolidation streamlines procurement and lowers costs, it also narrows options and reduces resilience. The Department of Defense is now searching for ways to diversify its supplier base, aware that efficiency has come at the price of flexibility. Right now, Europe spends billions more for less capability, simply because its defense industry remains divided. As global threats accelerate, efficiency is not just economics, it is security. Industrial structure decides who can deliver when it matters most. The price of fragmentation is no longer just financial, it is strategic. Share your thoughts below.